Week 16 of the fantasy football season. Here's a few quarterbacks I have as sleepers this week. The first quarterback, Gardner Minshew of the Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes out for the season with the torn ACL. And Minshew, I know he's not that great of a quarterback, but obviously a guy with starter experience. And last season, I thought at times he played well with the Vegas Raiders before Aiden O'Connell came back, and he was the starter for the Vegas Raiders. So this week, good matchup with the Tennessee Titans, a defense that can't stop anyone. And like I said, Gardner Minshew, he's got that gunslinger mentality. And also as well, we know they got some great playmakers in Rashee Rice, Travis Kelce. And last week, I know he threw the pick 10 the game, but to come off the bench cold in the fourth quarter, trying to go down for a game-tying drive or win the ball game, it's tough. So last season for Minshew, 2,013 pass yards, 9 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 58 rush yards, a 2-point conversion, and 4 fumble losses. Obviously, this is a huge upgrade from the players he was playing with last season with the Raiders. And now to be here with Kansas City and step in the final 3 games of the season, I think Minshew in deeper leagues, 2 quarterback leagues, could be a good sleeper option. And out there in 98% of fantasy leagues, next quarterback, Tyler Shough of the New Orleans Saints. So Shough, he's on this list pretty much every week. Obviously, I know it's towards the end of the season, and not a lot of people are going to roster a guy who came in as a rookie on one of the worst teams in the league. Shough out there in 89% of fantasy leagues, and the last 3 games for him, he's playing well. Week 13 at the Dolphins, 239 pass yards, 2 touchdowns, an interception, 18 rush yards, a 2-point conversion, a fumble loss. Week 14 at the Bucs, 144 pass yards, interception, 55 rush yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground. And Week 15 versus the Panthers, 272 passing, a touchdown, 32 rush yards. So this week, slam dunk matchup, New York Jets coming in, 10th most fantasy points to quarterbacks on the season. And also as well, we know this Jet team traded their top defenders in Sauce Gardner, Quinnen Williams, and Michael Carter. So with all those guys gone and Tyler Shough playing great football the last month of the season and actually putting up serviceable fantasy numbers, I think he's a good sleeper option this week. In the final quarterback, Ewers of the Miami Dolphins. So Tua, he got benched, and most likely that's the end of the tenure, I think, for Tua in Miami. So the Dolphins, they definitely were playing better, winning 4 in a row, but it didn't have to do much with Tua. I think Devon Achane was a huge part of it, obviously. And then last week we saw Tua struggle, and they lost at the Pittsburgh Steelers, and now out of playoff contention. That's why they went with Ewers in this one. So Ewers, we know he had a good college career, obviously a late-round draft pick in the NFL draft, but now getting an opportunity where most of the season Zach Wilson was the backup quarterback, but Ewers now, he stepped in, and they might as well see what they got with this kid going into the future with the final 3 games of the season since out of playoff contention. So this week, it's a good matchup to get his feet wet, get him in some game action versus Cincinnati Bengals that give up the second most fantasy points to quarterbacks on the season. I know it's a stretch to trust a rookie in his first career start, Week 16 semifinal game, but like I said, if you're really hurting the quarterback, especially in deeper leagues or 2 quarterback leagues here, Quinn Ewers is out there in 99% of fantasy leagues. That's a few quarterbacks that have his sleepers for Week 16 of the fantasy football season.